Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special Friday episode of Forging Valorants. I've got Project Eggroll joining us tonight to talk about a rather unfortunate topic, that being the Acolyte. But I'm happy to have him on. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's
Yeah,
going on, man?
it was tough to watch. Phil, did you watch the first two episodes?
Holy shit, that thing was awful. Yes, I did. I watched it last night. I watched it last
Oh,
night,
this
like around
is-
like 2 a.m. I
Oh
was like,
man.
So I
oh
only
shit.
watched episode one because I watched episode one and I did not have it in me to do episode two. Which I mean, I might have to just to review it, but it's like episode one, like off the bat, like minute one. I think the opening dialogue is what's the black girl's name? The twin?
OSHA.
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 Osha. So I believe the opening dialogue when she comes in she goes into this like bar restaurant place where Trinity's sitting, and she just walks up to her and she's like, "Fight me with your full power." And then Trinity's like, "Jedi don't attack the unarmed." And then the Osha's like, "Yes, they do." And that's like the intro to the episode. It's like, man,
Yeah, it's
it did
but
not get better
it's
from
yeah,
there.
it's at for now. Here's the thing. Coming from TV, usually the pilot hooks you for the episode, like hooks you for the entire season. Like for instance, I tell people just watch the first episode, and if you don't like it, just skip it. So the thing is like that's what I did with Game of Thrones the first time. People were like, you should watch it. And this is like when I think four, season four was coming out. This is after the Red Wedding, and then I was at Cartoon Network at the time. Then one of the girls I know, she was like, "Are you watching Game of Thrones?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "You should. It's so good." I'm like, "What is it, like Knights and Dragons?" And she's like, "There's so much more than that, and zombies." I'm like, okay, sure. She's like, "Just watch the first episode. If the pilot doesn't hook you, don't watch it." And the thing is, this pilot sucked.
I feel like you mentioned like some people from the outside of Game of Thrones who haven't seen it might think, oh, it's just like Knights and Dragons, like just like spectacle. But that's what Star Wars has become now. Like Star Wars truly is just multicolored lightsabers, and that's it. And like voice changers and droids. Like there's no character, there's no story behind it. So we were introduced to maybe like 5 or 6 different characters in this episode, and none of them stuck out to me as having like anything behind them. Did you guys find any redeeming characters in the first 2 episodes?
Nah, nah. But the the actor we all hated, the guy who said there's no good and evil in Star Wars, and it was Anakin who blew up the Death Star. His character is actually better than the Master. To like him more than the Master because he's actually smarter. It's like because the Master's like, oh, you gotta trust OSHA just because I don't know. It's his former Padawan.
Oh, dude, that's
It's incredibly
bizarre.
stupid.
Actually, I have that pulled up because that's been in my head since, like, that clip. So, in the episode, right, episode one, we're introduced to this guy, and one of the first things that he says, the Asian dude, is what's his name in the show? The
Yord.
Yord, right?
Yord. Yeah.
So he's confronted by this other Jedi,
Wait, I
and
thought
he
Yord is
talks.
a black guy. I
Oh,
think Yord was a black. I don't remember, man.
they're not memorable. But
I
the
don't know.
point is, this
Sorry. Do you mean this one? This one is
this guy here.
Soul. Soul. His name is Soul.
Soul,
Yes, Soul.
right? So
Yeah.
Soul is asked about this girl's twin, and he says here that she is dead.
May is dead. I saw her die.
A few moments later.
May is alive.
I believe you.
So that's like the character arc of this episode for him, I guess. In one scene, he's asked if she's alive, and his response is no. And he's a Jedi, right? He's supposed to be able to sense if someone's alive or not, right? And apparently he was there when she quote unquote died, but he wasn't able to sense that for some reason. But then next scene, he's just like, yeah, she's alive. What changed your mind, dude? What was the character arc? There's nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, he basically was just like I don't know, man. Maybe he has some kind of like teacher student like infatuation with her or something like that. I don't know. Maybe he.
Yeah. It's really strange, especially I forgot the name of the green girl, the apparently the superior of Soul. It was like
Leslie Heslin's wife.
The non-binary thing.
Yeah, the
green,
bald one.
the green
The
girl.
green bald one. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, that's Leslie Heslin's wife.
Oh, okay. I couldn't be bothered, but anyway, she was like, oh, we gotta capture May. She's a suspect to murdering Indara. Like, this was at the point where the Jedi were at the height of their power, right? She could have easily sent someone else. Why send the one who has a clearly an emotional vested interest in her? Yeah, I'm gonna get her. I promise I'm gonna get her. Then he immediately flips the switch and sides with May. I don't know. It's incredibly he's incredibly one-dimensional in my opinion. This soul
yeah, so-
master Jedi.
Yeah, so
So yeah, and then the
OSHA's
non-binary girl's name is
yeah,
Piccolo.
Piccolo.
Thanks, Tim. You know the names better than me. But that's
Yeah,
that's a strange name, Piccolo.
yeah, OSHA is the what's it called again? The good one. May is the bad one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
May is the bad one.
And they've got like identical haircuts and hairstyles, and like you'd think like one was training to be a Jedi, the other one's a Sith. You'd think there would be some scars or something on them, their face, but they just look identical.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. It's like for me, I just think that overall, like other than the outliers, like the stupid fire in space, it doesn't make sense, and what's it called again? Just the terrible writing and the fact that what's her face? Carrie Ann Moss, Trinity, was basically marketed as she's going to be in the entire show, right? She was in like
front and center in all the trailers.
yeah, and she
She's the
dies in
one
like the first
scene.
8 minutes of the show. It's like, oh my god, died to a stupid knife. It's
Yeah.
And then, dude,
Like-
at the end of the episode, May, I guess, is going to talk to the cringy, edgy Sith dude, and he's giving this big speech. A weapon cannot kill a Jedi. At the beginning of the episode, she kills a Jedi with a weapon. She just stabs her and she dies. So what's the point, man? Doesn't make sense.
yes, it is cringe, man. It's I you had a show that could potentially, I don't know, save it, right? What did they say? They said that this is supposed to be some kind of noir-esque, like some kind of murder mystery, or you find out who the murderer is like the first 8 minutes of the show. It's like, okay, there's a surprise. I'm like, this is it's so dumb. And it makes me wonder, like, what's it have, like 98%, 93 or something like that on Rotten Tomatoes critic review. And it goes to show that they're like the reviewers, these critic reviews are basically trying to tell them, trying to send out a message. They're basically trying to send out a message that the show is good, go watch it. And then if you look at the audience, it's what, like 30 something. I'm not sure what the percentage is.
26. I know last I checked, 26.
Even that seems high, though. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand that there are people who genuinely, not they're being paid off to do this, genuinely watched this show and thought, this is so good. This is inspiring me. These are characters. I'm excited to see what happens next. It just seems so lifeless and boring, like nothing whatsoever. There were no redeeming qualities, like no acting, no character, no themes, nothing about it that grabbed me in any way.
Yeah, when I scan through Facebook, I see a lot of people saying they really like it. It's like I don't know why people are saying Twitter's worse than Facebook, but I really think Facebook is worse. Like, it's
No,
full of people saying
Facebook-
it's really
Facebook
really
is
good,
awful.
guys. I really enjoyed it, guys. It's like, why? How?
I don't know what all the hate's about. I loved it. Tim, no, I didn't. Did they release like a new trailer for it, like as it came out?
For
That's
episode
strange.
3?
Oh.
Probably. But the thing is, I'm not sure if you watched what's it called again? If you're following Alan Ng, Dad, my pal Al on Twitter X, he basically said that in episode 3, that's where the whole show just spits on the lore of Star Wars and the Force and everything. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And wait, Kaylin, did you watch episode 2?
I did not know. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's a
I-
lot worse. It's a lot worse. That's where most of
it
my
gets
memes
worse, man.
came from. That's where most of my posts on X came from. It's from episode 2, not really episode 1. Because it's
just-
incredibly.
It's just I get it, and I've heard a lot of people and seen it like on X and stuff. People saying that like episode 3 or whatever like changes and ruins it for them. It's like the Last Jedi all over again. I don't see where those people are coming from. Star Wars has been ruined. It's been ruined time and time again. Kenobi, Boba Fett, the last two seasons of Mando, Ahsoka. Like it's time and time again. Like if you're still, how can you still be invested in Star Wars so much that it's like, oh, the Acolyte episode 3 was what turned me off. It's like we've been hit with so much stuff. I just don't see how anyone can still be invested. Like I don't care. They could in episode 3, like Rey could come in and Osha and May, and they could just be a lesbian threesome, and that's how Anakin comes into being. And I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't ruin anything for me because it's already been ruined. But do you guys have any hope for the future of Star Wars? Are there any projects you're looking forward to?
No,
Not the Rey
Yeah.
movie.
nope.
Well, we're
I-
looking forward to making it as content, but not excited to watch it per se.
yeah. Star Wars. Okay, here's the thing. Like I say this a lot, but I grew up I didn't watch Star Wars until I was an adult. So I didn't have any ties with it. Like I watched episode 1 before I watched A New Hope. So like I watched episode 1 when I was like 6th grade. So I was what, 11. And I thought it was fine. I thought the Duel of Fates was really cool. I hated everything else. Like some of the characters were really nice. But the thing is that I had no ties with Star Wars. And then watching the OG, and I'm like, oh, I really liked it. But then now you have all these garbage that came out. It's just I don't care about anything that they're coming out with now. Like
Yeah.
it's just awful. Like I remember watching The Last Jedi in theaters. I believe I went to like a company theater thing for like Christmas. I think I forgot when The Last Jedi was, it like 2015? And it was
17, right?
it was a 17. Okay, no, I no 15 was Force Awakens. So yeah, 17.
Awakens,
Yeah,
Force Awakens.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch that. I'm like, what's the point of this movie? This movie sucks, right? And like, I was waiting for Snoke to be some kind of crazy, uber like big dick like bad guy that's gonna like, make Palpatine look like a piece of shit. Instantly just dies like in his throne room, subverts expectation, and yeah, I don't care about it. Like, oh, but I had a friend who was like, yo, we had there's an Asian in there. You know what? Your kind finally made it into Star Wars. I'm like, bitch, we had Donnie Yen. That was a wasted opportunity in Rogue One. So yeah, and here's the thing though. Can you save it with hot lesbians, tripping and scissoring? Maybe.
There's Sydney Sweeney in
Have to be
there, and there's
hot.
a chance. But so
She-
after
okay.
hearing you say that, you know what you sound like actually, and I'm sorry to say this, but since you've been critical, you actually would you call yourself alt-right, Phil?
Okay. If they're saying if being mad about Star Wars makes me alt-right, then I'm fucking alt-right. I don't fucking care. Call me whatever the fuck you want. It's like, oh, you're a bigot. All right, I'm a bigot. All right, I'm alt-right, whatever, But like if angering, if this makes me angry, calls me then I'm alt-right.
It's insane because like so there could just be someone who doesn't even like criticize stuff or doesn't even think critically or like do YouTube, right? But they just watched episode 1 and they're like, "Oh, I didn't really like this. I wish it was better." But then they could see an article like this and be like, "Oh, so you didn't like this episode? You must be an alt-right racist, bigot, Nazi." And it's like it's insane. Just because we didn't like it, just because we wish you could do better and create an actually good, inspiring story, you have to label us this. And again, like it's been said 1,000 times, we're the consumers. We're funding them. This show costs what, $200 million? I mean, that's insane by itself. But that's Disney Plus subscriptions paying for that. That's theme park tickets paying for that. And then you just come around and call us, well, hey, if you didn't like our story, you're all right. It's wild. And look at this
Yeah.
picture. This isn't that not the most flattering picture? I mean, no pictures of her are, but like just staring at our souls right there.
Yeah, she has a strong jaw and a very
Very
boxy
strong
face.
jawline. Hail yeah, America. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Did you guys see the interview that article is referencing where she says that R2D2 was a lesbian?
I saw snippets of it. Yeah. I
Like-
couldn't be bothered watching all those interviews and trailers because I know they're just shitting on Star Wars even more. But I do when I watch
Yes.
YouTube videos, they do put in snippets of it. So yeah, she really said it. R2D2 is canon, I believe. Canon unless
Yes, I watched it last night, and she's there with the lead actress, and then the lead actress
Yeah.
is like, "Oh yeah, so all nerds are gay," and they're like, "Oh yeah, all nerds are gay," and then she's like, "You know, R2D2 is canonically a lesbian. He's definitely hooking up with C3. She's definitely hooking up with the C3PO. They're definitely a couple," and it's like, dude, they're droids. What you see R2D2, he's a droid, he's an astromech. What about that makes you think lesbian? Like, how do you need to
It would
insert?
be. It will make more sense if they were non-binary. Like what? Right? They have no gender. Right? Like
Yeah.
it's oh my god, dude. Oh, like it's like oh 3PO is gay. You know, super gay. I mean, sure, maybe, but like they don't have. Oh my god, like yeah, they're literally making Star Wars like super gay, and Force is female, and holy crap, man, that's if it's not a great way to kill your fan base, it's just adding all these things, and hearing that episode 3, episode 4 gets worse and worse is just yeah. Looking forward to making content though.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna have to watch episode 2. I'm not looking forward to it, but
Yeah.
Hail Dylan. Well, fancy meeting you all here. Yeah, man. Gay robots 2024 is crazy. No, I guess I expected it. Gay robots. I mean, it's not the worst we've seen from them. It's just like so. Basically, you're a creator, right? Like you're brought in, you're a storyteller to write the next Star Wars show. There's so much stuff that could be going through your head, right? What are you gonna do with these characters? Where's the story gonna go? How is it this the first one of the first things that enters your mind for this promotional interview? Because that's what all these interviews are, right? It's to promote the show. Is oh, this robot's a lesbian, and that's what you're leading with. Because you don't have any story, you don't have any characters, you don't have any cool new revolutionary concept to promote your show. Because again, it's a selling point. You've got a product and you're trying to sell it. Who's gonna watch the show because they watched an interview with a leader director person says, "Oh, if you watch this, you're gay," and also C3PO, he's in a gay lesbian relationship with R2D2. It's like, how is that a selling point?
Like I mentioned, it's not, you're definitely not catering to your dedicated fans anymore. Like I would say, like you sort of, I guess you say you sort of tricked everyone or catfished everyone with Force Awakens, is because sort of just that's basically nostalgia
Yeah, it's
bait.
fresh. Yeah.
But once Ryan Johnson came in and took over, it's just like, oh, this isn't for us anymore. And I'm when I say us, I'm talking about the original fans that grew up watching it, people who I know that actually went to the theaters in the late 70s and watched episode 4 in the theaters, right, in New Hope, and it's not for them anymore. And the thing is that those are the people who grew up watching Star Wars. Those are the people that you want to market to, because those people have money.
Yes.
Right? Those people have money, and the thing is like, well, actually, Star Wars makes most of its money through merchandise. Nobody's buying your merchandise. It's like, yeah, maybe lightsabers,
The
but
new
like,
ones anyway.
like
The new ones anyway.
yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like, I remember Drunk 3PO talked about there was supposed to be like a Kickstarter or some kind of like fan thing that was like Reva's lightsaber, and it didn't
Yeah,
even get funded.
it didn't
Oh,
get
that
funded.
failed miserably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of like all the merchandise that comes with a product, right, is because you're so invested in it, you're so invested in the character stuff. You want to be a part of it, right? You want to have something with you to remind you of that franchise, to remind you of the good storytelling. But do I want like a Rey bobblehead to remind me about Rey Palpatine? No. Do I want Reva's lightsaber to remind me that she's been stabbed like 3 times by Darth Vader and he just couldn't finish the job? Hell no. Hell, little homebots or robosexuals. It's basically it's gonna be porn. The next Star Wars show is just gonna be gay lesbian porn. I'm half expecting. My grabber says, if there are gay robots, what's a transformer nowadays? Well, I don't know if Philip or Greg, I don't know how much you guys know about or follow Transformers, but the latest Transformers show, actually, the one of the leading Transformers is a they them. and was explaining to the main child character that its pronouns are they them, and that's how it feels comfortable. So Transformers are gay now too.
Yeah. Yeah, basically everything that's coming out, it's not for us anymore. It's for a new market, and yeah, it's an agenda. It's an agenda that these people are trying to push, because they don't know how to tell a story. Because a lot of the people who do know how to tell a story basically are gone or
A bit,
retired.
yeah. Yep.
We do have a bit of a spot of bright light, or hopefulness in the future. Next week we've got The Boys season 4 and House of
And
the Dragon
House of the
season 2.
Dragon.
Two
Yeah.
shows which I'm very much looking forward to. One a lot more so than the other. I really did enjoy The Boys season 1, but I do feel like seasons 2 and 3 contained a lot of very agenda-driven elements that kind of damaged the story. What were you guys' thoughts on The Boys thus far?
Go ahead, Gray.
I need to actually it's been a long time since season 3, so I do need kind of a recap. But generally I still enjoy it. But yeah, people have said that there are some of those elements in there, and it kind of heavily deviates from the comic book, especially with, according to Phil, back when we were talking about it, it's Black Noir. I think
Mhm.
they really heavily deviated from that character. So, but generally as a whole, it's still an interesting, good story. So I think they're gonna keep it consistent with this season 4. Especially, I'm interested with what's gonna happen to the son, the Ryan, I believe, because like he's
Yeah,
gonna go.
yeah, I'm very interested in it because
Yeah.
it's also the show's kind of carried by good acting as well. Like you've got Anthony Starr and the guy who plays
Mhm.
Billy Butcher, and their dynamic just I feel like carries it for me, and especially now with season 4, it's gonna be about I guess them trying to sway Ryan like towards because they're both kind of father figures for him.
Yeah.
Obviously Homelander's his actual father, but just swaying him towards what path's he gonna go down, you know?
Mhm.
And, that's when the show's the best for me, I feel like, is when it's them 2 acting together and against each other.
Yeah. And especially, yeah, Ryan's gonna kind of went with Homelander in it's his season finale, season 3. So he's
Mhm.
probably gonna be dwelling more on the Stark side, which is kind of interesting. Though for me, I think The Boys has like maybe 1 to 2 seasons left. That's what I think. I don't know how big the universe is in the comic books, but I feel like the story is like maybe 1 to 2 seasons more, and I think they should wrap it up already. That's
I
what
feel
I
like it's
feel.
already I agree, 'cause I feel like it's already getting a little bit repetitive, where it's like, "Oh, is Homelander gonna go crazy? Oh, maybe he is, maybe he isn't." Like, they were doing that since season 1, and now we've had 3 seasons of that, and he still hasn't, like, gone crazy yet, but they keep teasing it, and it's just like, we've seen this again and again and again, and it would be nice to actually get a conclusion to the show instead of having it go on for, like, 6, 7 seasons and just drag on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and did Kayla, did you get did I didn't bother, but did you watch the spin-off Compound
I
V?
did. So I actually really enjoyed it, which I wasn't
Oh, okay.
expecting to. Did you guys see it, Gen V?
N- I
Nope.
it's like it felt like it got shadow dropped. It's like no one was talking about it. So I thought maybe it's not so good. Maybe no one's talking about it.
So it was very strange because it contained a lot of elements, like from the face of it, right? You'd assume that it would just be dog shit because like one of the main characters, like her power is switching genders, boy to girl, girl to boy. The main black girl has like her powers are like menstrual cycle, blood and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff on the face that would make you assume that this would just be like an agenda-driven, shallow story garbage show. But I actually watched episode 1, like I think 2 weeks after it came out. By the time that like half the show had already been out and I was hooked, and I followed the rest of the show until it had finished airing. And I found it really compelling. I thought there was a lot of really well developed characters in it, and I'm excited to see how they lead into The Boys season 4 because we saw in the trailer for it. I think a few of the Gen V characters will be directly in season 4, which I'm definitely excited for. I would recommend to anyone in the chat as well as you guys to watch Gen V or give us at least episode 1 a chance because we were kind of talking about that earlier with the Acolyte, where episode 1 it used to be like a hook with a pilot, right? Because they don't know if they'll get funding for the whole show, so they have to make episode 1, compelling. So whereas that Acolyte episode 1, there was nothing to draw you in. Gen V episode 1 draws you in with the characters. There's a mystery element. There's multiple plot lines that get you hooked and excited for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Like you
Yeah.
have like I remember my brother-in-law, He was like, "Oh, is the I hear people talking about The Boys. This is good." I was like, "Just watch the first 10 minutes of the show. If you don't like it, you're not gonna like it." And then he was
Yeah.
like, "I don't have time to watch it. Is there a clip on YouTube?" And I showed him the clip, and it's basically you got yeah, he ran through his girlfriend, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "Yeah, basically it's like this, but and it gets better from here." And he was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." So there was none of that in Acolyte, right? Like for me, I really like Trinity, and I thought that she was going to play a big part. We got debated, of course, so it's we didn't get any of that, and it's I there's nothing going on with that. And but as for The Boys, there is some heavy deviation from the graphic novel, and I hope they still stick to landing, is because that reveal is massive. It's freaking huge. Like, and what happens with Homelander and like all like every other character and stuff like that. It's a very, very cool reveal. So I hope that they stick to landing. Maybe they're just adding in a bunch of stuff, sort of like what they did of Walking Dead, right? Daryl's it's a made up character that everyone loved, because in the books or the comic book, like Daryl wasn't a character. So we'll see, right? And I believe Eric Kripke is the same guy that did The Walking Dead. So let's see where it goes. I just hope, like you said, hope maybe 1 or 2 seasons tops. Maybe the last season, like maybe the 5th season or something like that. They just finish it and wrap it up. But I have a feeling that they're gonna milk this dry like they did with Walking Dead. Like Walking Dead's still going, so it's
Yeah, I've
I'm not
never
sure.
gotten to like the Walking Dead stuff. Isn't it on like 20 seasons or something if you include like all the
Yeah.
spin-offs?
Yeah, like they have like
Yeah.
2 or 3 spin-offs, and then yeah, it's just like a lot of
There's
people's like, so they
definitely that definitely like tarnishes the show the longer. I don't know if you guys seen like Castlevania.
yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. So right. So the Castlevania as an example is a show. They had a story. They knew what they were going to do. It had 4 seasons, and they concluded it right. So there's definitely something to be said for a show, like especially rewatchability, going back and having a completed story, versus a show that just drags on and on and on, and then doesn't give you that finality. Right. We saw. I mean, Game of Thrones, disastrous ending. And then something like Walking Dead, from what I've heard, it goes on and on and on instead of giving you that, satisfying conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Walking Dead became like the NCIS or the CSI of TV shows, where it's like it's making a decent amount of cash, so they just keep releasing and releasing it. I think that's what it's become, because there's plenty of TV shows that are like that. That people just wanna go home after work. They're so tired. They just wanna watch a single episode where they don't have to understand what happened before. So I
Mhm.
think that's what Walking Dead is accommodating to. So Phil, you mentioned about a big reveal in The Boys. Is that what you're expecting in this coming season? The one you're talking
No.
about, a big reveal?
No.
Okay, not yet. Okay.
It's because like something has to happen with a couple of the characters in order for the reveal to happen.
Ah.
So let's say if that big event happens at the end, like the big event, season 6 could be the big reveal. Like they can reveal like that. Like let's say anywhere from 8 to 10 episodes, right? Let's say by like episode 6, they do the big reveal of like what happened, and then like they have 2 episodes to sort of like plan it out. I think that can work. But the thing is that the graphic novel is extremely like brutal. It's like it makes what we're seeing right now like very tame. So
I've
it's
heard
just
that.
yeah, but like I did like season 3. There is a lot of like identity politics stuff, but it makes sense, like
Like the
for the
ending
most
though, like so basically Soldier Boy, for anyone who hasn't seen, like he has this radioactive stuff inside of him, and every time it goes off, it vaporizes everyone around him, and if they don't die flat out, they lose their powers, right? So at the end of season 3, spoilers, guys, just for this, he jumps off a building, Bat Tower, with Maeve, and his nuclear thing goes off. So if it doesn't kill her all just outright, which it definitely should, at the very least, it takes her powers away, which it does. And she should be dead because she top of a building, hitting the ground, it's like 70 stories up. She should be smushed, flattened if the blast didn't kill her, which it should have. So she should definitely be dead. but then at the end she's alive just so she can go get her lesbian ending, and it's like doesn't make any sense, and it kind of takes away all the threat of everyone who Soldier Boy killed all season long. So it screws stuff up, man.
Yeah, but it's good though. But the crappy thing is like Eric Kripke basically came out like I mentioned right before we started. You know, a lot of people were like, wait, this seems like you know, it's Trumpism stuff, you know, what Homelander's going through. And then he was like, yeah, it is. And then he's like, if you don't like it, watch a different show. So I wonder if that's going to ruin, like let's say when it starts, is that going to ruin the show? Like I'm not sure. Here's the thing though, like I say this to Gray all the time, wokeness does not ruin a show. It does not ruin a good show. It does not ruin a good game. Terrible writing does. So let's say if it is woke in a way, because it's very progressive, but I'm really enjoying it. I would say that, you know, I hope the show becomes good, even though it has woke elements in it. I just hope that it's good. But if it's not, then that people are gonna be like, oh, the reason why it sucks is because it's woke. But we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, you can definitely have like the whole thing of, I guess, diversity quota. It's like, I mean, look at House of the Dragon, which we've got season 2 coming out soon, which I'm very excited for next week. But like season 1, we had Rhaenyra and Allison, like front and center as the main characters. You know, true female characters, very much so strong female characters, but they're multifaceted and there's a great story behind it. So it's a well-written show. But yeah, there are girls in it, there are dudes in it. It's a quite diverse show. You know, with what they did with the Valerians, especially like race swapping them. But it works because it's a well-written show, and I can't wait for the House of Dragon season 2. I'd say I'm way more excited for that even than the boys season
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
What
super
did you
excited
guys
for it.
think of season 1?
super
You, I
excited.
gather you loved it.
Yeah. It's
It was
not the
good.
height. It's not at the heights of when Game of Thrones was really good, but it still delivered a solid. Especially when we came in with the expectation, oh, this is gonna suck. Look at what they did to Game of Thrones season 8. Then actually, finally, they HBO kind of rebounded on that, and yeah, we're excited because like there's so many characters. Like, oh, I wonder who's gonna die in episode 1. That's what I think.
Oh, have
Because
you
there's so
guys
many
read
characters.
Fire and Blood?
I'm not a book reader, so this
Oh,
like
okay,
I don't know what's coming. So
Yeah.
but yeah, but it do you know what's gonna happen already since you read it?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I love the book. A lot of people, I know Gary especially doesn't like Fire and Blood. I think it's a fantastic book. But the strange thing is like the House of the Dragon is based off like one chapter, a few chapters, like maybe a fourth of the overall book, centered like in the very center of the book. So it's very strange. But I'm extremely excited for the stuff that plays out that we'll be getting in seasons. I think it's supposed to be a 3 or 4 season show max. Do you guys know if they announced that? Something like that. I'm very excited for what's to come. I also hope they handle it well because there's still a lot of margins for error. I suppose there's a lot of stuff they could mess up, and I just hope the writing stays consistent because we kind of even saw in season 1. Episode 9, I think, had a few flaws which really stuck out to me, like Rhaenys bursting up out of the Sept and like
Yeah, I
killing
remember that one.
thousands.
She could have
It's like,
ended it right there. She could have ended it
yeah.
already.
Creed, we've got guys, we have a special cameo, super fast popping in. Crease, what's up? You're outside, man, out in the wild
Yeah,
world.
man, dude, I'm just saying what's up from Dallas. I'm just hanging out with some of the guys in the crew. Just wanted to say what's up, Project Arrow. I'll be in your chat every once in a while, and y'all guys, freaking rock, man. Like I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, you guys are freaking amazing, man.
So are you at the
Appreciate it,
Dallas?
dude.
Are you at the Dallas meetup right now?
No, I'm not at the Dallas meetup. We just got invited to a comedy club. Like somebody just hooked us up with some free tickets, and we just said, "Fuck it, let's go." So I was like,
Nice,
"Hey,
man, nice.
yes, that's what's up." But we will be at the meetup tomorrow, June the 8th. If you guys want to swing by, and if you're in the Dallas area, we're gonna be there with Young Ripper, Geeks and Gamers, Neurotic. The whole entire crew's all gonna be there. So I wish Project Arrow can make it out there because Jay's gonna be there too.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely wanted to go, but it was was for me at least, it was a little bit last minute, so I wasn't
Yeah,
able to make it. And plus, I was gonna originally drive there, so like I needed. It was like it was announced like almost 2 weeks ago, so like I even told the
yeah,
Saska sisters last weekend. Was like, yeah, we weren't able to, we can't go, but yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be cool, man. We'll try to
Oh,
go next year for sure.
oh yeah, man. Like I was telling everybody, it's not the first, it's not the last. Hey man, we're gonna keep on moving this machine. You know, we got San Antonio. Like Naraga already said, like there's gonna be a meetup in San Antonio. So maybe you guys make it out to SpaceCon for that one. So
Yeah, that sounds cool. Like I just need to know when that is. That's what.
yeah, it's gonna be October 25th through the 27th.
Okay. I
Yeah.
know that in October there's going to be LA Comic Con as well, so I want to see. I know Gary is going to be going to that one as well, so we'll be able to swing by for sure for that one.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Because they just announced Hayden Christensen's gonna be there. Ian McGregor is gonna be there. So like, like some of the top Star Wars people gonna be there. Star Trek, all that at SpaceCon. So, but I'm gonna let you guys get back to your podcast. I just wanted to say what's up to you guys. Big fans. Galen, take it easy, bro. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
See you, man.
Yeah.
Hail service 199. Yeah, guys, so it's amazing. Like with this whole sphere we have of the internet our own corner, I suppose, like the meetups that happen, like the MegaCon, Vegas, Dallas. Because I mean, this has all come about because we're supposed to be inspired by media, right? And Disney and with Star Wars, Marvel, it's just been failing time and time again. I mean, who's gonna watch the Acolyte episode one and be like, oh yeah, me and the guys, we're gonna go hang out and talk about the Acolyte and theorize about what's happening next week. I mean, no one. So we have to distract ourselves. That's how we all come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Acolyte is going to. It's not gonna. It's not doing well so far. Like even like people who are relatively in the middle. Like I was talking to some coworkers, and I work in games, and a lot of them are relatively woke, or they're centrist, or they're liberal, whatever. But like all of them who've seen, they're like, it's okay. It's not the greatest, but we'll see. We'll see. It's not awful though. But they said that this feels like fan fiction to them. It feels like Star Wars in name only. So even if you have people like them saying that it's not great, then you know that it's not great overall. But when you get these, leftist people or people who are making the show saying if you're not happy with the show, then you're considered alt right, then I don't know what to tell you.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's how many people are they gonna drive away before they realize? Because that's what's gonna take for them to realize, right? Is enough Disney Plus subscriptions are canceled, enough people stop showing up to the movies because they have to lose enough money to realize, hey, what we're doing, our marketing strategies of insulting our fans, insulting our consumers, isn't working, and that's not driving people to watch, our shows and our movies. And I truly believe that they do need to lose a substantive amount of money for them to then switch directions and give us something good. So I believe it's gonna get worse before it gets better. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that they're actually? What do you think it's gonna take for Disney to turn around and change and realize that they've actually been making massive mistakes for the last 5 years?
You can go ahead, Greg.
Yeah. You have to remove the people currently in charge because, like, Kathleen Kennedy and everyone under her. She's basically the mastermind in terms of Lucasfilms. Because yeah, that's all she cares about is pushing her ideology. She doesn't care about making money. That's the thing. And Bob Iger, he only cares about keeping his legacy as CEO. Then he doesn't really care if the company's doing fine, and he's kind of in his own echo chamber. He's like, oh, woke means many things to many people. So that guy's not gonna get any feedback. He's not gonna take it anyway. So it's the people in power that need to be, the people in charge with making key decisions. You need to remove them because, like, they're clearly not interested in making good entertainment or pushing the medium forward. They only care about whether it is pushing their own ideologies or increasing their bottom line, increasing their own personal profits. So you need to bring back people who actually care about their audience and creating good stories and stuff like that. But it's not gonna happen because they're too deeply entrenched into Disney. But on the upside, I do think that Star Wars is also gonna cut back because like Marvel's already been cutting back on content. So I imagine Star Wars is not far behind because they haven't announced anything like after this. What's gonna happen to Star Wars after this Acolyte show? Nothing, right? Usually it's like for the past few years we get something like back when Andor was showing. I believe this Acolyte was announced. Now they have nothing. So maybe that they're gonna slow down on the crappy content. At least that's the silver line. That whatever, however small that may be.
We have to hope because I mean they spent $200 million on the Acolyte. That's insane. That amount of money. Like we look at what was House of the Dragon? I think that was like 120 million, something like for season one,
Yeah.
something along those lines. And it's like imagine you have all the money, right? You have access to everyone to do like special effects. You could get any actors you want. And they're not just wasting resources, they're wasting time too. Because there's so many. Imagine what we've got like 8 Star Wars shows. Imagine if we'd received like 8 fantastic, good, well-written Star Wars shows. And I mean, I'm young, I'm 18, and there are other people obviously right now in their tweens and teens who should be growing up with good inspirational shows and movies to, because that's what inspires us. That's what makes us go and maybe invent the next neat thing that turns into the next invention, or write the next story, or write the next show, or become the next person who runs the next Star Wars show. Is our current stuff as you're growing inspires you, but when we're just receiving a bland characters, no characterization, uh just agenda, it doesn't give us that inspiration. And it's awful. It's been 5 years. I feel like it's gonna be another 5 years too before we actually get that change from Disney.
It has to, yeah, like Gray said, like it really boils down to who's ever in charge. You have to wait. You have to wait and gut everything. You have like Alan Ing said, like you got to clean house. Like you got to get rid of everyone that's there, and then just like keep the IP and have them start like later on. And but the thing is, they think that this is their win. It's like, oh, haha, take that, like fanboys, geek fanboys of Star Wars, white people, neckbeard or whatever. It's like the Force is female now, yada yada yada. But the thing is, if they're not making any money, the board's gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening, right? So, just vote with your money. Vote with your wallet. Like, just don't watch it. Don't give them any like a time of day and stuff like that. They're like, oh, like we had a record of how many million people watching the first episode. I don't think they're watching because they're excited. I think they're watching because they want to see what shit show this is because this is supposed to be according to what Leslie has, they're supposed to be like the gayest Star Wars or something like that. There's some kind of
Yeah.
interview. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, man.
And so like I said, I only watched episode 1, but you guys watched episode 2. So I have a question. Can you confirm that this is an entity that was in episode 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so is this a Jedi? So,
Yeah.
Jedi meditation, and I imagine like they've got almost like a Buddhism, right? Like eating routines and stuff. Um, so is he fighting? Does he do flips?
No.
Maybe the next few episodes. I don't. He's only like in episode 2. He's only like a sentry. He's like probing the area at a distance. So maybe in the next few episodes he does a
And
backflip.
it is a he, right? It is a he.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
he.
Okay.
This is a he.
Unless he has a
Oh.
pronouns that he wants to identify as.
Yeah.
So that's what I did hear about the show too, is that there are going to be a lot more pronouns coming up in episodes 3 and 4.
So I would say so. Is because in episode 2 you're introduced to forgot his name. I'm assuming it's him, but a Wookiee
Whoa, whoa,
Jedi.
whoa, whoa! We got to be careful with that though. Yeah, assumptions, okay.
Yeah. It looks hairy. It's usually a guy. So, you get introduced at the end of episode 2. You get introduced to a Wookiee Jedi. So, I believe there are Wookiee Jedis in
Yeah, that's
the EU.
yeah.
I think I'm not sure.
I didn't bash on that because like I'm pretty sure somewhere along the Star Wars lore, there's probably a Wookiee Jedi. And it's the way they use the Force. He just force grabs the gun out of nowhere, then tears the gun. That's the end of episode 2. Yeah, it's episode 2 has a lot of shit in it, a lot.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
but
did
that
hear that episode 1 was it's supposed to be like the longest of the series because it was like 50 minutes, which was brutal to get through. But how long was episode 2?
A little, yeah, a bit 32,
I
37.
think I think like
But
36 around there. Yeah.
I did notice, like, this Peru kind of pointed this out. The credits are really long for the show so far.
I
It's
think
like
they've always been, right? For most Star
four,
Wars Disney stuff.
is it for like 4 minutes? So it's like he computed it. It's like, if it's that long, the credits costs Disney like $2 million. Like that's how long it's like, if you measure the budget of the show, like, and according to the duration per episode, like, the credits is gonna cost Disney, I think, 2 million. I think it's per episode, just the credits alone. Just incredibly nutty.
And that just shows all the talent that's wasted. Like if you got 4 minutes of credits, like that's like thousands of people who work to create like this absolute piece of garbage. Tim Gunji, so is he in the Bad Batch? This fat that wouldn't even make sense because the Bad Batch is based after. Oh, were you talking about like title card at post credit scenes? I mean time. But yeah, I've never I mean nothing against like, obviously some people have more weight than others, but it's just like why a Jedi? Like you imagine Jedi, this was like this mystique, this awe about them, right? This mystery. And that's just been diluted so much. And I feel like the same things happened with the Sith time and time again. With the end of the Acolyte episode 1, when we see this just Sith dude standing talking this nonsense to May, and then he just ignites his red lightsaber for no reason whatsoever, other than
Yeah.
the reaction of, oh, it's a red lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they do that. It's sort of like, imagine if it's like you see a bad guy standing on top of a hill making a stupid monologue about bullshit, and then he brings out a gun. He's like, "Oh, if I didn't know you were a bad guy already, now you're a bad guy." It's sort of like, dude, it's like you don't have. What happened to show don't tell? So we know
Yeah,
he's dressed in
exactly.
all black. He's probably a Sith. So, and he has a weird voice. So, well, here's the. We're not sure if the Sith is a man or a woman. Okay.
It's female. It's a lesbian.
Yeah,
I
I
would stake
guarantee
my
you.
life.
I guarantee you at the end is gonna be. I heard this from somewhere. It's like at the end it's gonna be like, you're a bad guy. You ruined my entire life, and then he takes off the helmet. I am your mother. I can see that shit happening, man. I can see that shit happening, man.
Yeah, that
Just
hasn't
because
been
the Force is
revealed, right?
female.
I believe it
And,
too. Did you guys catch in episode 1 when Saul he's basically like expositing her backstory and he's like, your sister died, your mother's died. So the main mothers, yeah. So the twins were conceived by America Chavez, his parents probably on their planet. So how does Star Wars gonna take a stance on that though about conception? Because like I feel like they might retroactively go back, right? Because we already like Anakin stuff, his mother Smee, the Force impregnated her. Are they gonna like double down on that and go and say that the Force can cause two lesbians to create like Force children? I could see that happening.
I think that's what they're gunning for with the Rey movie, right? Like, she gets Force pregnated.
But that's gonna be by Kylo, right? Unless maybe not. I mean, who knows? It might be Ahsoka at this point. Ahsoka might world between worlds travel and impregnate Rey with the future daughter of the Jedi Order. I have no clue.
I
But
I don't know. Maybe they never mentioned this in the movies or the TV show. Like maybe it's like the midichlorians or something like that, or maybe the mothers. One of them was actually a man to begin with, and then they transitioned to a. I don't know what's gonna happen. I wonder. They're probably gonna explain the backstory for Osha and May, probably in episode 3. So we'll see. But maybe they're Jesus. I don't know. Space
speaking of Rey,
Jesus.
though, we do have some the first clips, the first photos from the set for the new Rey movie. Which Disney was very excited to put these out front and center. So this is what they've released first. for the upcoming Rey movie 2025. It was assigned Palpatine at birth, but it does identify as a Skywalker.
Okay, I have a question to ask about what's it called again? So the reason why the Emperor wanted Rey to kill him is so he can take over her body, right?
Hmm. He wants to
So
transition.
he kills him. So in the Rey movie, is sh- is sh- is he gonna be Palpatine? Like I don't get it.
Well, she is a Palpatine, but she also might have some Palpatine inside of her, because Palpatine wanted to cut his ding dong off and transition into a Rey. So, yeah, yes, the answer is yes. Callow says force impregnated sounds like a move. Like that could be their new
That
attack. A force
that
impregnation.
sounds like if someone forced impregnates you, that sounds like rape.
Oh
Yeah.
shoot! I didn't even realize what
Yeah,
I just said.
exactly.
It does. Oh no.
It is.
Oh no.
That sounds like you're gonna be going to jail.
I'm expecting like an interview for one of them to say that though, like in like an interview. I don't want to say it again, but like the next for the Ray movie, they may be like, "Oh yeah, Kylo force impregnated Ray." It's like the
Yeah.
implications behind
Yeah,
that.
against my will. Like without consent.
She wasn't strong-minded enough to resist.
Yeah, you know, her body was saying, her body was saying, "Let's go."
Oh no. Yeah, so that's
But
the next Star Wars project we have to get excited for, right? It's the Rey movie and the Mando movie. That's what they've announced. Because Greg, you mentioned earlier that before they've always had like this full slate of upcoming projects, but right now all they have is the vague idea of there might be a Rey movie coming out, and there might be a Mando movie in the works, and that's it as far as I know. Do you guys know of anything else coming out?
No. And I do notice that Lucasfilm does have a trend of not saying if it's canceled. I remember IGN interviewed Kathleen. It's like, no, it's not canceled. So she doesn't even like to admit stuff gets canceled. So yeah, Ahsoka, there's no indication of season 2. Andor's kind of vague. I know there is a season 2, but we don't know when it's coming out.
Oh yeah, I think there is supposed to be an Andor season 2, right?
Yeah.
I did enjoy Andor quite a bit. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of did actually. But I do
Yes.
know a lot of people, especially the really, really hardcore Star Wars fans, didn't like it. It's like, oh, what's this then? What's that? There's a lot of loopholes still.
I found the first 3 episodes extremely boring and just didn't like. I was very disinterested in them, but then I did push through, and I found the rest of the show really enjoyable, especially like the prison arc as well. Some really good acting in it and actual, characters. So I can see why there should be like I believe there should be an Andor season 2 versus an Ahsoka season 2, where Ahsoka is the one Star Wars show besides Mando season 3 that I did not watch. I heard everything about it. I've seen the clips, and does it warrant a season 2 in you guys' opinion?
Nah.
no, we know where it ends up. Like we already know what happens to Andor. Like he dies. So is it gonna lead up to that? Is it gonna lead up to Rogue One? Like we're not sure. So like, and the thing is like dude's looking older and older every time we see
Yeah,
him.
actually.
So it's like
It's like when I watched Andor, I watched Rogue One again. He looks a lot younger in Rogue One compared to Andor. Yeah.
I mean, there's
And,
like we said, there's nothing to look forward to Star Wars wise, which is again why we're turning to other, newer or other older IPs too, like Game of Thrones coming back with House of the Dragon season 2, and the Boys season 4. And we have to hope they pull those things off, because that shows Disney too. Like if let's say House of the Dragon season 2 comes out and blows away like record numbers, everyone's tuning in to watch it. Articles are coming out, people are talking about it positively on YouTube. Like Leslie Headland and Kennedy, they have to know, right? Like they have to know that they can't be so deluded that they don't see that
yeah,
the reactions from us, right? But
yeah, it's
do you
gonna
guys
be
think they care?
they probably won't. They'll probably still continue pushing because like they don't have any accountability, or they're as of now they're kind of free from any consequence. So just continue doing what they're doing. And yeah, it's definitely interesting that it's gonna get compared to those 2 other shows since it released pretty much in the same time frame as those 2. So yeah, they'll probably throw jabs at the other two shows because of all the insecurities that they will have when people say, "Oh, The Boys is super, really really good," or "House of the Dragon is really really good," and they're probably gonna throw shade at the other two shows, knowing their attitude.
I mean, by the time we get to what's Acolyte's gonna have 8 episodes, I think,
Yeah,
something like that. By the time we get to, like, 7, 8, who's gonna be watching up to 7 and 8? Like, I'm watching with the Jack Sparrow, right? So my numbers, I don't think count towards their overall, like, metrics, but I imagine they'll just stop reporting numbers halfway through season 1 because I did see they put out something like The Acolyte episode 1 has record-breaking Disney Plus numbers or something, but I imagine stuff like that's gonna stop halfway through.
Yeah, and like you're you're gonna have it. Yeah, just based off of numbers, you have that show coming out, and then you have The Boys as well. And then next month, or I think next month or a couple months from now, you have what's it called again? The Rings of Power. It's gonna be coming out as well.
Oh, no.
So like you're gonna have a bunch of shows that's coming out, and you're gonna see which shows are and of course they're gonna be like, oh, this show is completely different. This is sci-fi versus fantasy. No, it's good writing or bad writing. That's it. If you have good writing, people will come watch your stuff, right? So it season 7, season 8 of Game of Thrones is the prime example. Like they rushed that thing so freaking quick, and now that's a show that I wish that they made longer. Like season 7 needed to be longer, season 8 needed to be longer. You need to flesh out the story why Daenerys was a piece of shit at the end, right? It's because you talk to people and they're like, oh, you should have seen it coming. It's like, no, I need to see it to believe it. But when it comes to this one, if it's they're not going to get a season 2. But the thing is that if people are talking about it, they're going to consider it, oh, wait, it's trending. It's trending, right? Whether or not it's bad publicity, they're going to be like, oh, people are talking about it. We're trending on Twitter. So they're going to consider it a good thing. Going to show that to their, board members. Look, it's trending. Everyone's talking about it, right? So, um, but I don't think they're going to learn anything from from whether or not they agree with us, or they're just going to continue doing their shit. And it's like, it's like, who cares about the fans? Let's continue pushing shitty writing on our agenda.
yeah, and I believe I heard last night. I forgot if it was a video that I watched. Ahsoka season 1 did total of 14 million views. This one did episode 1 4.8. If we are gonna believe the Disney Plus numbers, but
That seems
is
wildly, like, huge. 4 million people tuned in to the Acolyte episode 1.
yeah, it's Disney's numbers though. So can you really can we really trust that? I, yeah, I don't. If Ahsoka did 14 by the end, will this one reach that number by the end? I don't think so.
I hope not.
So yeah, it's like if Ahsoka didn't get a renewal, then this one probably won't either. That's what I feel.
And I mean, what's Disney's next big thing is Deadpool 3 coming out like this July. And if that doesn't, hit like what, 800 million, 900 million, a billion, if it's not like a success for them, like imagine Deadpool 3 like caps out around 400 million and is a financial failure, and it's just the needle on the haystack that actually tells them, hey, we're losing money. This can't continue. A bit off topic with that, but what are you guys' thoughts about Deadpool 3? Are you excited?
Yeah. Not excited. A little bit excited for it, right? Like,
Apprehensive.
that. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic when it comes to that one because even though Ryan Reynolds does have creative freedom, he doesn't have 100% creative freedom like he did for the first 2 movies, right? After what's it called? The first movie, the second movie, he was like, okay, given free reign to do whatever he want. Like he won't be able to make fun of the people that he did in the first 2 movies. It's gonna be sort of like a muted version, like of Deadpool. Like I have no doubts it's gonna hit $800 million. It's guaranteed is going to hit $800 million. This is Hugh Jackman's last movie as Wolverine. There's a bunch of cameos of people are already saying that Henry Cavill is going to be in it. You're getting a bunch of old people that are from the original X-Men that are going to be in it. So you have the dead Ant-Man, and you have what's it called, like a bunch of other
That Ant-Man's a
like
selling point.
Easter eggs. Yeah, you have a bunch
It
of
actually
Easter
might be
eggs.
though.
So,
But
but
like,
hitting
I
a
don't.
billion, it might be. It might.
I don't. I could see it not even hitting 800 million though, because like 1 and 2 made what, like 500, 600 million, I believe, somewhere around that margin. And again, we have like, I mean, it's a rated R movie. It's already kind of almost a niche, but then we also have to consider being Disney-fied. Like, how many people are going to wait and hear whether it's good or not before going to see it? So considering that 1 and 2 didn't even hit that like 700-800 million mark, I could see like 3 potentially flopping and not hitting that point. I could also see it potential. I mean, if it's good, hitting a billion. If it's very good, I just think the chances are pretty slim with that. Like, we've been sold these camera. Like, everyone said, "Oh, Multiverse of Madness, it's gonna have all these characters," and it was just some key jangles. There's nothing like substantive about it. Like, actually, the same thing happening with Deadpool 3.
I
Fair
wonder
enough.
if legit Taylor Swift is going to be there. The Swifties are going to bring it to 1 billion if she is, but I don't think so.
Has she
Like,
commented on it on Deadpool 3?
I don't know, but I don't know why there are rumors circulating that she's gonna be in Deadpool 3 and she might even be in Star Wars moving forward. Like they're trying to get
What?
her in all the IPs. I don't know if it's just plain rumors that came out of nowhere, but
That would be
I
weird.
don't
So,
know.
like, they saw people showed up to watch football because she was there, and now they're like, cast her?
But yeah, but
Uh,
if legit she's there, the Swifties are just gonna blow all their money just to see her. Because Swifties fans are kind of irrational. They'll
Yeah,
consume
exactly.
anything Taylor Swift. So if that's true, they're gonna lift that thing to 1 billion. That's what I think.
it,
If it's
it
legit. If
does
it's
make
legit.
sense. It does make sense that she plays Dazzler because Dazzler's a singer, anyways. So, we did. Yeah, she was in the football games with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively and stuff like that. So like they do know each other. So it won't be a surprise if she was a cameo, right? Just like, oh, Dazzler cameo, right? Because they're putting in whoever the actor was that played Sabretooth in the original X-Men 1 movie. Like he's gonna be in this movie. I heard potentially even Daniel Radcliffe might be in this movie. They're putting all
Oh.
their eggs in one basket for this one movie. They're even getting the original Jean Grey to come back to play Jean Grey. So it's like they're really, really hoping that this does well because this is their only Marvel movie that's for this year. So like they're going to put a lot of money, a lot of advertisement, and the fact that you have Hugh Jackman coming back. So and it's like it can hit it, but if she is going to be in a movie, let's say if like after like she's in a post credit or something, right? People can be like, Taylor Swift is in the movie. The following weekend or the following day, you're going to see a spike in box office. Is because of all the Swifties are going to like go in
Yeah.
droves.
Yep. Even if it's just like even if it's just like 5 seconds of her, they're gonna go watch it.
I guess she does have a point. I guess that seems like such a last ditch attempt, just because this person like has a fan base. Cause she even act like has she been in shows or movies? Not that I
She's
know
been
of.
in one movie. It was like a Valentine's movie, and Taylor Lautner was like her boyfriend. Forgot what it was called. I think it's called like Valentine's Day or some shit like that.
Oh,
She can't act though. It's fucking cringe as fuck. Like so bad.
I imagine. Well, I mean, I would like to end us off on a bit of a lighter note, because listen, the Acolyte, no one wants to think about it, no one wants to talk about it. It's unfortunate that it is a thing. But here's some footage of Kathleen Kennedy, as she was coming up with the idea to create the Acolyte.
Put another kidnappers woman in it. Make it motherfucking live. No, what's going on with my stars? No, Kathleen Kennedy. Is there a problem, people?
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones. Put a chick in it and make her name it gay.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's try that. Again. Kathleen Kennedy is down on set right now ruining the new Bambi movie.
Put a diverse woman in it. Make it live.
Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby dear. Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
We've sent her away to have lunch at Spago.
There you are, Miss Kennedy, the linguine and clam sauce.
Excuse me. I believe I asked you to put a chick in this and make her gay.
Yes, the chef was a little confused what you meant by that.
Means put a chick in the linguine and make her fucking gay. And I want it lame.
Yeah, so that's actually
Amazing.
how the Acolyte came about. And I feel like the Acolyte's the epitome of that, right? Two chicks, twins, more chicks, just make them all lame, make them gay, right? But unfortunately, I guess I will be watching episode 2 and continue to review the show. I imagine you guys are in your podcast as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
already have some bullet points here in my notes about the stuff that went down.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna be
Yeah,
talking about it tomorrow.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Unfortunate that it's the Acolyte we have to talk about. I mean, listen, guys, folks in the chat, we do have The Boys season 4 and House of the Dragon season 2 coming out next week, which I'm actually genuinely excited to cover each week, and I imagine these guys will be as well because you feel happy, right, talking about a good show versus the
Yeah.
Acolyte, where your mind is just going, "What did I watch? How did this come about?" You know. So I'm excited for those two shows, and it also sucks that we have to watch the Acolyte as well. But what do you guys have coming up?
We do Project Agro every Saturday at 7 Pacific time. So if you guys want to follow us there, you can check out Project Agro. We're also on X Twitter, so you guys can follow us there. We also have our own personal channels. I know Gray has his and I have mine. I'm probably gonna go live later on tonight, probably a little bit later than I would like tonight. But yeah, you can follow me on Mr. Philip Chan 2, number 2. It's because my original channel's demonetized, so I can't really do anything for that one. If you guys want to follow me there, I will be going back to play. I'll be playing Elden Ring recently, and I know that Elden Ring DLC is coming out in about 2 weeks, so I'm looking forward to that.
And the
Yeah,
link,
so
guys, is in the description if you're not subscribed to Project Agro. But Gray, do you have anything you wanted to shout out?
yeah, I used to say, yeah, we're just for Project Egg Roll Trust. That's 3 shows, so that's a lot of content for us. So that's probably the bulk of what we'll be talking about. As for my personal stuff, I'm because like the Steam sale is super close, and my next game for my personal channel is Final Fantasy VI. That's what people want me to cover. So I'm waiting for. According to the Steam trends, the last sale was on end of June, so that's super close. I'll just wait for that before I jump into the game. Yeah, but mostly it's gonna. I'm probably in my terms of daily content. I'll probably do maybe a little game commentaries and the TV shows on Project Eggroll.
Solid, guys. Definitely go subscribe to them if you haven't already. And that sounds fun. I wish I had more time for gaming myself. Which I mean, if shows continue to go downhill, I might have more time because like if there's no good shows to watch, might as well play a game instead. But folks, speaking of good storytelling as an alternative to the current stuff, if you are a fan of reading or books, literature, you can check out my fantasy books. Link in chat. I've got my Forging Valorant series and my Elementalist series, and also my Krampus series. So lots of books, audiobooks, and graphic novels to fill your time. If you'd rather do something other than watch the new gay cringe Star Wars stuff. Link is in the chat, and again, the link to Project Eggroll is in the description of the YouTube video. But I'll be back next week on the channel for episode 16 of Forging Fandom. Unfortunately, we'll be talking about the Acolyte, but also, The Boys episode 1, which I hope is good. But thank you all so much for showing up, and I'll see
And
you
thanks for
guys
having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Later all.